It's Coffee Near Me. I'm Barbara Dee. We're coming to you from the Warren County Public Library. This is the program where we share some coffee conversation and share the passions of the people whose stories shape our lives. Today there seems to be a recurring theme, inspirational. We're going to talk with David Hosay, who is the production manager at WBKO TV, but he's also a puppeteer. David, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So we talked about inspiration and collaboration. So if we had to pull something out of the discussion that we're about to have, we're not going to have a discussion, we're going to have a conversation. We would find those themes, wouldn't we?
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about being inspired. All right, I'm a product of the TV generation, couldn't wait to go into TV. You, on the other hand, are a product of the Muppet generation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I was born in the late 70s, the Muppet Show was getting ready to come out. Sesame Street was already a big hit, and Jim Henson was changing the way people saw puppets. Jerry Jewell, Jim Henson's collaborator and head writer of the Muppets, once said, it's like D.W. Griffith, who was a pioneer in the film world. He saw actors and he saw the camera, the film medium, and he put the two together. And no one had ever done that with puppetry. So Jim totally changed puppets and said, let's get rid of the little ledge that the puppets hide behind.
Right, because you always want to look beyond, don't you?
Yeah,
yes.
And the camera became the stage. And so these puppets they were made out of soft materials, or usually, they were made of hard materials, say like the Punch and Judy style puppets.
Yeah, like you either had one extreme or the other. They were either too flimsy or they were too hard to
stiff.
be manipulated.
Yeah, so he made soft characters that you could get a close-up with the camera, and these characters just came to life, and I was fascinated by that.
Who's your favorite Muppet?
I would have to say, I have a couple. I love Kermit the Frog, Big Bird, Fozzie Bear, Gonzo. Yeah.
And what we should tell people is you got, fast forward through your life. Let's start with being a child. And you were kind of a shy kid.
Yes. And
your parents would have people over, and guess what? David would put on a puppet show.
Yes. So I had a couple of Muppet puppets. And when my parents' friends would come over, I would throw a blanket over some chairs, and I would put on a little puppet show and probably just spend a couple minutes trying to get some words out and make the puppets move around, and then they'd give me like a quarter for the show.
See, it started early. But then, did you ever think that this is something I really, really want to do?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Especially moving on to my teenage years, I thought that someone that could have fun at what they do and touch so many people's lives, like Jim and his collaborators had done, I wanted to be a part of something special.
But that's interesting because you could do that just being you, but when you do that with another person or a puppet, because they seem so human, it's almost like you can get lost in them.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty boring regular guy, but whenever you have a colorful character, it kind of gets kids' attention, it gets adults' attention to see this this creature that you are making talk and move. And
it's a creation, kind of, right?
Yeah, you bring something that's inanimate to life, and sometimes they're cute, and sometimes it's a little weird looking, but it gets people's attention.
Now, so you go to Western, you decide to study theater, and this is really probably...
television production.
Okay, but a class that you took at Western...
It was in theater. They had a puppet theater course, and I thought, oh, this is awesome. They only offered it a few times, like maybe once every 3 semesters. So I was able to learn how to build some puppets, and then after that class, I took the puppets to Barnes & Noble. Said, can I put on a puppet show? They said, sure. And all of that, working at the TV station, my coursework at Western, and then putting on the puppet shows helped me get the internship at the Jim Henson Company.
An internship at the coveted Jim Henson Company, what that must have been like. So talk a little bit about how that changed your life. I mean, here, this is your dream. You walk in there. Did you ever meet Jim Henson?
Jim Henson died when I was 13, and I was devastated. But while I was there, I got to meet a lot of his collaborators, and then it was very special to me. I got to meet his wife, who was his first major partner with the Muppets and performed with him back in the 50s and the 60s until they started having children.
And so you got to meet her. That's cool. We're gonna. You're watching Coffee Near Me. We're coming to you from the Warren County Public Library. I'm Barbara Deeb, and we are having a conversation today over coffee with David Hosay, who is the production manager at WBKO TV, but he is also a member of Sublime Media, and they do puppets. We're going to learn about puppets. Now you can continue the conversation. Don't forget to make some comments and let us know who you'd like to have coffee with. This is Coffee Near Me.